Hey, it's your girl, Catty BFF, and welcome to my channel. And if you're new here, my name is Catty BFF, and I am your new best friend. Now, today is a special day because by the time you guys are watching this, it is my birthday. I am a New Year's baby. I am a Capricorn at heart with a Libra rising and Aquarius moon. But today I am talking to you guys about why I always cry on my birthday. I know it's like a weird topic because it's like, wait, why you always cry on your birthday? Like, what? Like, who cries on their birthday? And the answer is me. Your girl cries on her birthday. Now, I don't know. For some reason, for me, when it comes to my birthday, it's like I never really got to enjoy my birthday as a kid until like last year when I finally turned 21 because like New Year's is like the time of the year where it's like mainly adults celebrate New Year's. And me being a child growing up, I never really like got to like obviously have the full experience because girl, you're underage, you can't drink, you can't get into clubs and this, that, and the third. But as a kid, I was very depressed. I was very disappointed in how my life was going socially and sometimes living wise evenly, but mainly because of like how I was socially. I was very isolated. I felt very abandoned, and I felt like I had no real friends, and I just wasn't living my life the way I wanted to. I was living in a single parent home with my grandparent. I didn't have like my own room, like the typical like American wants and needs. Like I did not have all of that growing up. And when I started crying on my birthday, it started when I turned 13. I was in eighth grade, obviously, I was in eighth grade. And I was at my family's house, and my mom was somewhere else. I was never really close to my family, so for me to be with my family, it was just pointless for me. I was only close to like one or two family members, but that's just as far as it went. Um, but yeah, so I remember it was like I was just staring at the screen. I was waiting for the ball to drop, and it was like everybody around me was all like Happy New Year. Mind you, it was like maybe two, three of us like watching the TV. And like by the time the ball dropped, the person's like Happy New Year, la 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 la, and I'm just sitting there staring at the TV with the utmost disappointment. I just felt so miserable. I felt so miserable at the age of 13. I felt so miserable. Um, Everyone was saying Happy New Year's to each other, Happy New Year's to me, blah blah blah. Nobody was telling me happy birthday, which at that point of course I felt a bit disappointed at that, but I think I was more focused on the fact that it's like, oh, like I just feel so alone. And I was checking my phone, I was scrolling through my phone. Ooh, excuse me, I was scrolling through my phone. I think a few people were like posting on my wall because by the time I was in eighth grade, I was already on Facebook, and like a few people were just like telling me, posting happy birthday on my wall. At this point, I already met like my half brothers and sisters who were posting happy birthday on my wall, and it was just like a just a downhill spiral from each year on. So like obviously as I got older, everything felt a lit worse, except the only difference is I'm away from middle school friends and I'm in high school. Um, the older I've gotten, the more I wanted the typical teenage life, just like constantly hanging out with friends at the mall and like hanging out and like getting a car ride with a friend and just like having fun and going to like teenage parties and living life. Your girl had none of that. Okay, I did not have strict parents or a strict mother. I never had a strict mother. She was always like kind of concerned for me when it comes to my social life, because it's like all your friends are like locked up in the house. Like we all can't do anything because we all don't have each other to go with. And my mom is not the type to like necessarily let me go out like completely by myself. Um, Depending on where I was going though. Like if I was going somewhere like she knows, like yeah, like I'm going by myself. But me though, I obviously did not want to go by myself. So I mean, yeah, I did hang out with my friends here and there, but I just wasn't living like the typical life I wanted. I wasn't having the social life I wanted. I wasn't living like the apartment with your own bedroom and you get your own little privacy, your little fantasy land. Like, I just wasn't having that. My relationship, like, I want to say, like, I wasn't allowed to have my own relationship until I was 17, 16, 17. So by the time my junior year, by the time I hit my junior year, I kinda, but not really, was getting into Heartbreaker. Me and Heartbreaker did have my first relationship. He was my first relationship in high school junior year. That year when I turned 17, oh god, like, did I turn 17? Or was it 18? Like 17, 18. Like, he would always tell me happy birthday, like, midday. I I'm picky about that though. Like I'm like that person who's like, okay, I'm a New Year's baby, great. Tell me happy birthday at the strike of 12. Okay, instead of telling me happy new year when you text me at 12, text me happy birthday, because I care more about my birthday than the fact that it's the damn new year, because I change with the year, literally. So like tell me happy birthday and then happy new year. Like put me first when you're talking to me, okay? But I'm also that person with like, okay, if it's like 12 p.m., don't message me happy birthday. You missed your window. Like you have a 1 hour window from when it hits 12 to like 1, maybe even 2 if I'm lit. Like don't message me happy birthday while you have a hangover, because I'll appreciate it much less. And some people may look at me like I'm crazy and be like, but Caddy, like at least they acknowledged your birthday. Honey, I have standards. Like, I have standards. Like, no, we don't got the time. Like, we don't have the time. Like, by the time it's like 12 p.m., I'm up, I'm about, like, I'm doing what I want, and people, while other people were just like having freaking hangovers, like, oh my god, I'm drank too much. I don't drink too much, okay? I'm not the type. I'm not the type. I don't have the help for it. For me, if you want to say happy birthday to me, 12 o'clock a.m. is the time, okay? So for me, I'm picky. But yeah, not the point. So yeah, so I was like very after a little tantrum. I was just like very depressed when I was like a teenager. Very depressed. I was just very disappointed in how my life was, and obviously I didn't really know how to change it because I am the way I am, and people perceive me the way they perceive me, and I'm friends with who I'm friends with. I can't change the fact that my friends' parents are like, you're not doing this, that, and the third, and my mom was like, oh well, you go live life, like, because like meanwhile my mom's like, oh yeah, you go live life, like you go have fun, you go do teenage stuff. Like a lot of things I was just on my own, and then with my boyfriend at the time with Heartbreaker, it just wasn't helping either. um Especially with all the breakups in between. Like I don't know, one day I'm gonna tell you guys like the rundown on Heartbreaker and like my life lesson to you guys on that, because I am also your big sister. If you haven't seen any of my other big sister videos, like I am your big sister, and I do have more big sisters, yeah, big sisters coming to you guys soon, but more later than sooner though. But yeah, I was just very miserable. So at the beginning of every year, I would always start crying out of sadness and misery because I knew I just wasn't where I wanted to be. Um, I don't know if that's a Capricorn thing because Capricorns are all about business and making money and like being where they want to be. And like I knew I just wasn't where I wanted to be in life, like at a very young age, regardless if it was like the teenage stage or the adult stage. Like I know now, like even now, I know I'm not where I want to be in life, but at least I'm doing something about it, as opposed to being a teenager and it's like you don't know what to do. Like, oh, you can make as many new friends as you want, but not everybody fits in your kind of friend group. Especially with me, I was like a very different kid. I was very into alternative music, very much so, and I dressed the part, my guy. Like I had my scene phase at the time. I dressed the part. I dressed the part. I listened to it a lot while listening to all my other favorite genres of music, of course. But I was more heavily into that during like the 4 years of high school. And then on top of that, I was having my surgeries, my guy. Like, okay, not surgeries, but I had like my first surgery, and it took me out my sophomore year. Like when I gotten my first heart surgery when I was a sophomore in high school, I was out the rest of the year. The doctor told me like, listen, you gotta get homeschooled. You need physical therapy. So that didn't even help either. It just made everything worse because I was separated from my friends, and like my friends wasn't talking to me that often either. Eventually ended up working, but yeah. Before I even go on a further tangent, point is, I always cried on my birthday because I just knew that I was miserable and I knew that I was not where I wanted to be in my life at that point. And last year I cried, but it was more of like a happiness for once. And because I finally like gotten a partner who was gonna like make an effort to be with me. Ooh, make an effort to be with me on my birthday, and I was with friends who, like, I normally see my emo events that I do the get ready with me's for. Um, and I was just like finally like enjoying my birthday to the fullest. So I was just so happy when I just came home to my partner's house and just like was lying on his kitchen floor. I don't want to get into why I was laying down on his kitchen floor, but I was just like at peace with like my birthday for once. And hopefully that would continue, you know? But thank you guys for listening to me rant a bit about my misery. And Happy New Year, you guys. Follow me on my social media at cattybff That's my Instagram. Follow me like me on Facebook at cattybff. Remember, I am your new best friend. Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys later.